cyber criminals, they're only getting better. We get calls and emails just about every day into our newsroom about cyber scams and crimes and people losing thousands of dollars.
Criminals look at password stealing and hacking and tricking you into clicking on a bad link as their job, which means we need to be better at spotting this and staying safe. October is actually National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is why we've invited Alex Netty, the CEO and co-founder of Hive Systems, here today. First, thank you for coming back.
Of course, great to have. Great to be here.
I really want to start with, we say this all the time to people, we say it on the news all the time, you need a different password for each and every account. And I know there are people at home going, why
I'm hiding.
Why is this so important?
It's critical because for hackers and scammers, if they get one of your passwords, they're likely to try it on other sites.
Right.
So even from the sites that you don't think are important, like Facebook, if you reuse that same account and that same password on somewhere that's more important, like your banking website, that's the very first thing that hackers and scammers are going to try. That's why they're so successful every single time.
It really is like their job, right?
It is a full-time job, right? Trying to scam and hack is their job. Getting money to be able to fuel their operations and keep things going, that's all they do day in and day out. So for us, it's just something quick. Let me set a password and move on with my life. But for them, it's their whole livelihood.
So kind of that being said, we have to really be on our game every single day.
It's tough, and it's not something that you think about. You say, this isn't something I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on strong passwords or setting them and remembering them. I just want to get online and go to social media or get on my bank account. But it is something that we have to contend with. And unfortunately, it's where we are here in 2023.
So your company, Hive Systems, you created kind of this graphic, which is a password table.
You got it.
Say that right? So what is that? When we pull this up, what are we looking at here?
This is a super useful graphic and just a tool in the world of cybersecurity. But the idea is to show you the amount of time that would take a hacker, and this is the best case scenario, to crack your password. This means that with no other information, if they were just guessing random digits and letters, this is how long it would take them. So in some cases, it's instantaneously. That's really scary if you have a short, not very complex password. What's cool about this table, though, is it tells something else. If you have a long password and it has all these complex characters, that's really hard to remember, and it takes a long time for hackers to break it. But interestingly enough, if you did all lowercase letters and made that password longer, it would take the same amount of time for a hacker or scammer to break that password. One of those is obviously easier to remember. So all lowercase letters, I like to take long walks on the beach, could be just as secure as something like 7K exclamation point, which you're never going to remember.
Literally never.
And that's why it's hard for people to create different passwords.
That's right.
Because they're scared.
Yeah.
How am I
That's
going to
one of
remember
our
this?
tips for this month here is use something called a password manager. It can generate those complex passwords and save them for you, including filling them out on websites. It makes it much easier to contend with all of them that you need to remember.
But you shouldn't save your passwords to like your desktop or anything like that, right? That's another big thing too.
You definitely don't want to do that. Leaving them on your computer can be super dangerous. If someone gets into your computer or gets onto your computer, now they have access to everything. These password managers are super encrypted, and the best part is you only have to remember one password to get in. Now you may be thinking, is this putting all my eggs in one basket? At the end of the day, for these password manager companies, that is their sole focus. It is the only thing that they're focused on is protecting your information, and oftentimes they do it really well. Even though there's been breaches at some of these in the past, like companies like LastPass, they're really good at protecting that information. So even though a lot of it was stolen, hackers and scammers likely aren't able to ever get into that information.
Because they encrypt it in some way. Let's talk about pass keys and pass codes. We keep hearing, these are kind of the buzzwords now. We're seeing sites move to this, some of the big social media sites. Is that safe? Is that important? Is that where we're headed?
That is where we're headed, right? Password's really hard, and with this table, as you saw, that purple part at the top is slowly creeping down the table. That means that passwords are going to be obsolete soon, and we've got to find a better way. These passkeys and usually biometrics can be just as secure, and they're a heck of a lot easier to remember. The cool part is oftentimes it uses things that are already on your phone or your keyboard, like your Touch ID, but there's also additional devices that you can use and plug into Touch and use instead of a password. It's harder because you have to carry that with you, but at the end of the day, maybe that's better than using passwords and remembering them.
Right. How can people find out more information about all of this through your company?
You can go online to our website at hivesystems.io. We also write a regular blog talking about all of these cybersecurity threats so you can keep on top of them. But again, here in October with National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, it's time to take stock about your cyber hygiene, check your passwords, make sure you're not reusing them, set multi-factor authentication, and just stay ahead of hackers and scammers.
And Google kind of makes it easy too. They'll give you alerts, hey, these passwords have been in a breach, please change these passwords. Do that, right?
That is exactly right. And oftentimes these password manager companies do the exact same thing. They'll let you know, especially if you're reusing password or they see it on the dark web, go change it because that means you're likely to be a victim soon.
All right, Alex Nettie, we always appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
with
Thank you for
Hive
having me. Appreciate
Systems. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.